Hi guys, Leary here doing tier 3 boss today with my guild, Zen, and I'm going to show you something about it. First of all, let's introduce the heroes I'm going to use today. First of all, I'm gonna need a tank because tier 3 boss does around 13k damage each time he hits. So I'm using an Atlanticor 5 revitalize. Paladin would be nice to use too because he has a lot of health. I'm using some damage dealers, of which one is Succubus. Succubus does 35,000 damage when she procs, and that's going to happen with 4 or 5 revitalize. And Spirit Mage I just drop in before I leave because she has a 5/5 revitalize, meaning she does around 9,000 damage. Of course, you can also use things like Pumpkin Duke, Thunder God, Druid, and all the other heroes just to deal damage, but they probably will die too fast because when the boss procs, he procs for 15 or 16k damage and he stuns, meaning he's gonna kill all of your heroes. So yeah, that's about the heroes, and I think I'm gonna show you the tier 3 boss, and we're going to beat it in about 25-30 minutes, I hope. So yeah. Okay, so the boss is going to start, and I'm very exciting because we have to run again at the tier 3 boss, which we do every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, which is decided when we enter the weekend. So yeah, I believe it will start at any moment now, and I will show you how I do it. Well, we're gonna have some fun with this boss because it will take a long time. As you have seen, I equipped Succubus, Spirit Mage, and Atlanticor only. We're starting, and as you see, I dropped my Atlanticor a little bit away. I failed by dropping the Succubus too close, so I have to revive her. Let's try it again. Drop Atlanticor a bit away, drop Succubus in between, then let the boss proc and drop Spirit Mage in and leave immediately. And I failed again, so let's revive Atlanticor. And yeah, this boss takes a lot of timing and experience, and yeah, so Atlanticor, Succubus, have the boss proc, drop Spirit Mage and leave, and as you can see, that does damage, 100k around. So I'm doing it again and drop Spirit Mage and leave. And this is kind of a ritual which is boring, and yeah, you can do it the same thing with Druid. Have Druid attract the boss, and in the meantime drop all your other heroes and just leave before the Druid gets hit even once. And yeah, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but you need to beat the boss anyway, so yeah. And yeah, it's a boring process, but yeah, you gain a lot of hero badges from it. The boss delivers 2k of honor badges for whoever participates in it, and the top 10 gains a lot of extra hero badges, so it is worth it. It is worth the 600 shards, it is worth the time investment, it is even worth the gem investment. So yeah, and as you can see, I'm doing it over and over again and try not to mistake in it, and just hope I don't have to use too much gems to revive my heroes, since this is only the second time we're actually going to beat the tier 3 boss, and yeah, it's still a bit new, so the tier 2 boss isn't too hard for us anymore. So, and yeah, my Atlanticor died again, so now I think I'm putting into extra heroes and just show you an alternate way which actually does a tiny bit more damage, because the boss procs, and when he procs he stuns all my heroes. Also, let me explain, by the way, why I drop my Succubus and drop my other heroes a bit later, because when my Succubus procs, the boss's damage is reduced by 26% at the moment, which means that the boss only does 12k damage to all my heroes, and my heroes can actually survive the proc, because if his damage isn't reduced, he will do 16k damage. As you can see, he does a lot of damage. That's the nice thing about Atlantic Core. Observing damage is quite nice. As you can see, that one was 15k of damage, and you can see all the other attacks are around 11k, 12k damage. So yeah, the boss does a lot of damage, and that is why you need high level heroes for this boss. I don't have that high heroes, so in this boss I'm not doing as well as I do on the tier 2 boss, which I actually make second place the most often, and at this boss I have tough time getting into the top 5, and I'm actually at the 5th spot at the moment, I think, which means I still get a lot of hero badges though. Yeah, the point is just you need high level heroes, and the thing about hit and run strategies is they are actually level based and not talent based, and yeah, if the boss proc stuns, you do have to hit and run, since else you will just die. Since if you see, if I stay in too long, my heroes will die. I had to revive my Atlantic Core just a moment ago, so yeah, and as you can see, his strategy doesn't add a lot of damage. I think it's about 10k a run on average, which it's at, and yeah, it's significant but not that significant. Yeah, there is also another strategy which actually the top damage dealer of her guild does, Keys. She uses a heavy blow team, which means she has 4 out of 5 of her heroes which have heavy blow actually, and I believe she also uses Thunder God and Champion, and it just means that she will stun the boss almost permanently, and that gives her an opportunity to actually deal a lot of damage, which normal teams can't do because they can't stay in that long. And normal stun teams which use the Champion Thunder God combo through Pumpkin Duke's buff and Berserk talents on the Champion and Thunder God actually aren't as effective as they are against the tier 2 boss, against this boss. And that also means that I can't use that same strategy, because lately I've been using and testing and experimenting with the strategy of just being in permanently, stunning the boss so he doesn't proc each time, and just making sure my druid can out heal the damage the boss does to my Atlantic Core and when he procs. And that is possible through the reduced damage of Succubus, which I'm actually testing out tomorrow. And yesterday I tried it without Succubus, with just Champion and Thunder God, which both have 4 or 5 Berserk, which means that if I time exactly right, I'm permanently stunning the boss. But that's not the point at this boss. At this boss you almost always just have to hit and run, and unless you have a heavy blow team which Keys actually has. There's no way you're going to stay in longer than, well, let's say 5 seconds or so. Atlanticor does a great job for me and for the other top players, because the number 4 spot and the number 2 spot are actually occupied by Atlanticor users, and well, Atlanticor indeed does a lot of damage for me because he reflects 3 of the boss swings and his proc, which means that is about 40-50k of damage he reflects. So the boss is almost finished now, and I believe we're at 19 minutes now. Yeah, 19 and a half minutes, and it will only take a few more runs just to defeat the boss, and I hope we can get it under 20 minutes this time, and it looks like it's gonna be under 20 minutes this time, and that is awesome because, well, we're one of the few guilds who can actually defeat tier 3 boss, and doing it under 20 minutes is a really good promotion for our guild. And yeah, I hope it will be fine. So, and as you can see, it stopped at 10 minutes 2 seconds,